Right now, there is a writer strike going on, and a bunch of movies and TV shows have been delayed and have paused production. I'm not super informed about the strike and everything that's been going on with it, but I have heard some things about studios looking at AI to take the place of writers. Now, I do not think studios will use AI as writers in AI's current state, and I really doubt AI is at a place right now where it can take the place of professional human writers. But I do believe that can and will happen sometime in the future, and it kind of scares me. Right now, AI is in the beginning stages of its existence, and it already can do some incredible things like create deepfakes and make anybody look like anybody. We've seen deepfakes in like Star Wars, The Mandalorian, Luke Skywalker. That's like a deepfake of Mark Hamill. So we've been seeing that technology improve and get better. AI can make anyone sound like anybody as well, which will probably be the most dangerous form of AI, especially as that version of AI gets more advanced. And we have seen that version of AI in the movie industry as well. Like with Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, I believe the voice is all AI. AI can even create art in a matter of minutes. Just look at this image of Superman. Believe it or not, this is an AI image. It kind of looks a bit off, so I guess you could tell that some sort of computer made this image, but the thing is, I made this image. I made this image in 5 minutes by using a free AI art service that I randomly looked up, and I had no training on it whatsoever. I barely read the directions, and I somehow created this in a matter of like 5 minutes. Imagine what I could really make if I knew how to really use AI art and I didn't use this free service. Like if I actually got like training. I don't know if there is training for AI art, but if I got like training, used a paid service that I'm sure is more advanced, imagine what I could really do. And I'm sure it would take like just about 10 to 20 minutes maybe. It depends on how the system works. But just go look up AI art and you can see how incredible the art looks. And the scary part is human artists might lose jobs over this in the future, especially as AI art gets better. And this could affect the film industry with the way that we hire artists to draw like storyboards and just to draw like concept art of like costumes and of like what the setting will look like. And it's just all that is probably going to be made by AI moving forward. And also, I'm sure it will affect like animation and the artists that do animation as well. Then there's CGI, which has their own set of artists. Again, AI art could take over CGI eventually, and we know how CGI people that do CGI get treated really badly. So I'm sure movie studios would love to hire AI to do CGI for them and make it super cheap. Well, I mean, AI would be super cheap because you wouldn't have to pay them like you would have to pay real CGI artists, and I'm sure they would love how fast the CGI would be done because that's how movie studios are. They really love to rush their artists to finish up the CGI as quick as possible, which is really messed up. At the end of the day, AI is being programmed to do pretty much anything. And right now there are AI robots with the goal that they will be able to function like a human and do human activities. I think AI and robots will take the place of some human jobs in the future. Not sure when it will happen, but I believe that is the future, especially if robots are cheaper for business. And when I talk about the film industry specifically, the film industry is all about making the most money, and hiring AI will make them the most money because they wouldn't have to spend as much money to hire real people. And when the film industry eventually does this, because I think they will eventually hire AI to do some things, and eventually I think AI could be in most of everything when it comes to the film industry. I believe that will be the day the film industry will be ruined. AI writers would be missing the human element that makes movies and TV shows and just storytelling in general really special. People that make movies and tell stories, they put themselves into the products that they make. I believe every person is unique, and we all have different kinds of minds, and AI can try to replicate other types of minds, but it won't be anything unique, and it won't be a human lived out experience. And also, I think when the film industry would try to do this, I think it would make their movies feel a bit formulaic, and maybe it will make their movies feel a bit robotic. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the AI could somehow make a movie and it'll be really good. It's just, I think it would be missing the human element that all of like the human experience of living. AI wouldn't have the experience of growing up, living life. Like a lot of filmmakers, they put their life experience, they put themselves into their products, and even into like their movies and TV shows. The improv, when they know when to improv, when to have something a certain way to make the audience feel something for themselves. It's missing a human element, and it will ruin the film industry, it will ruin movies, it will ruin TV shows. And there's so many more problems that it would create, like giving other real people less opportunities to make their way into the film industry. The film industry already doesn't give people with such great talent chances. You know how many Steven Spielbergs and Vince Gilligans are out there right now, like great directors and writers, just waiting for their opportunity, and they'll probably never get the chance because the film industry is really not fair. And a lot of the time, being in the film industry is just about how likable you are and how safe are you going to be for the product or for the movie or TV show. Actually, to be fair to television, television gives like many writers opportunities. Like we saw what happened with Vince Gilligan. He made Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, and now I'm sure if he wanted to make a movie, he could make a movie. But television actually gives a lot of people chances. Not as much as I would like, but it does give chances more than the movie industry. It also depends on what network you work on and what streaming service you work with. But point is, there's a lot of people out there that deserve opportunities, have such great ideas. I have some friends that are trying to get into the film industry right now, and they're working like as a coffee person, doing coffee errands and stuff, and they're trying to make their way up the ladder, and they have some incredible ideas for movies. Some ideas of like, wow, if this was made, this is such like an original idea. But the problem is with the film industry, it's really rare to get an opportunity. It's a lot of times about luck. It's about your personality. How much of a risk are you going to be? Like, how much of a risk is the movie going to be? And how much of a risk is your TV show going to be? But yeah, I have some friends that have great ideas for movies trying to make their way into the film industry. And I know there's people out there that have really great ideas. They have scripts and there's YouTube videos out there of like movie pitches that sound incredible and so original. And unfortunately, we might never get to see those made into movies. That's the scenario of the film industry. It's really difficult to get into, and you might have the greatest idea in the world, and it's probably never going to see the light of day because that's just how the film industry is. And when AI really starts to take over the industry, there will be less writers and directors that will unfortunately never get an opportunity. It also affects my future as well, because I don't think I told you guys this, but my dream is to be in the film industry or doing something with telling stories. Right now I am 20 years old and I'm still trying to figure things out with my life and doing school and doing work, but I do know that I love to come up with stories. And I think about stories and different movie ideas a lot. I am hoping to share some of my pitches on my channel. I do have some ideas for like what I would like to see DC, what my pitch of the DC universe would be like, or my pitch of a Fantastic Four movie or an X-Men movie. Maybe I'll share some of my other pitches that are not superhero related. Like I think that's my audience is like superhero, fantasy, science fiction content. Whenever I will grow bigger, I'm going to expand on that. But for right now, that's just the content of what I have to make because that's my audience. And also once in a while I'll make a video like this talking about different things in the movie industry and just talking about like different types of writing and just different stuff here and there. Like I made a video about nostalgia a couple months back. I'm also planning on making a video about how reboots are oversaturated and it's just there's too much of it, reboots and sequels. Realistically, if I were to somehow work my way to being able to get a movie made or a TV show made, I'd probably be in my late 30s to 40s. By the time I might be able to be something in the film industry, I might have to work with a bunch of robots. And with the fact that there's a bunch of robots, I might not even get an opportunity to be in the film industry, or it might affect my chances of making a book or just telling stories. So not only will it affect others, it will affect me as well. So that's why I'm a bit worried about my future, possibly telling stories in the film industry or just telling stories in books or telling stories anywhere. Now, if AI starts acting like humans and we get robots out here doing Detroit Become Human 2038 levels of shit, then I might think differently. I don't know if you guys know that amazing game where the robots want rights because they feel they are alive and want to live with all the privileges that come with being a human. It's an RPG game and you get to follow 3 characters and how they evolved into becoming like human, and it's like a robot revolution. I don't know if you guys played that game. It's a great game. I highly recommend playing the game. I was on the robot side the entire time, and you have to play the game to understand why you would be on the robot side. I'm not sure if we will be getting robots that are so human-like and have emotions like that, but we are not at that point as of now, and I'm not sure if we will ever see robots that have these emotions and feel like they are human. If we do get robots like the robots that are in the Detroit Become Human game, then I would be alright if they had some part in the film industry. Maybe they could share their experiences as to what it was like being a robot and how they felt like they couldn't be themselves and they were like trapped in like whatever programming they were in. But I wouldn't want them to take over the entire industry. We gotta still have those humans in there for the human experience, for different human stories. Also, if we did get robots that were acting human and they wanted to have human rights like the rest of us, I would expect those robots to want to be paid like humans. So I think the film industry wouldn't just get those robots and they think they can make more money for themselves by not having to really pay AI and robots for running their industry. But all that is going to be way into the future. We have nothing to worry about right now with robots taking over the industry and ruining it. I'm someone that worries about the future and worries about the future of the film industry, so I worry about some of these things, and I'm sure there's nothing to worry about right now. Who knows if AI and robots will get so advanced in 20, 40 years? Maybe we'll be in the same place as we are right now. Like AI will be in the same place as it is right now, not really advanced enough to take over something like the film industry, take over so many jobs. Also, I think the writers' strike will end soon. I don't know when exactly, but I think it'll eventually end. I think the studios and the writers will come to an agreement, and both sides will be happy. We all live happily ever after. Movies will continue again, and TV shows will all keep going. I don't think studios will be stupid enough not to do the writers justice by giving them residuals and the things that they're asking for. Again, I'm not super informed about the writer's strike and everything that's been going on. I know that the writers want residuals for the work that they do, because without the writers, you got nothing. So yeah, there's really nothing to worry about right now. Like, AI is not close enough to create movies and TV shows like the talented minds that are currently in this industry and the people that are trying to make their way into the industry right now. I think this will be a problem in the future, and I am worried about how this will affect my future as someone who wants to tell stories for many screens across the world and just wants to tell stories that possibly can make it into books, movies, TV shows. And yeah, I think AI will be part of the future for Hollywood and the film industry as a whole, and it will ruin the film industry.